Welcome back to Philosophy versus Science. I'm your host, speaking for the voice of science. Tonight, we return to the question that never rests. Does God exist? But this show does something extraordinary never seen before. We resurrect history's greatest thinkers, giving their voices new life. Across time, they face modern science, physics, biology, psychology, and neuroscience. And tonight, our guest is none other than Sigmund Freud, founder of psychoanalysis, the man who probed dreams, childhood, and the hidden recesses of the unconscious mind. He believed God was not a revelation, but a wish, a projection of the human need for a father figure. Two voices, one eternal question. And you are the jury, so let's begin. Sigmund Freud, if God exists, why did you call him an illusion?
I said religion is an illusion, not because I hated it, but because I studied it. In my work, I saw a pattern. When children feel helpless, they cling to their parents. The father protects, punishes, guides. Religion is this childhood need carried into adulthood. When thunder strikes or death threatens, people cry out to the sky like frightened children. They want protection. They want punishment explained. God is the magnified father figure of our unconscious. He comforts, disciplines, forgives. But he is no more real than the father in a dream.
Or perhaps what you saw was not illusion, but connection. Neuroscience shows belief doesn't just soothe, it reshapes the brain. When people pray, fMRI scans reveal activation in the prefrontal cortex, planning, the anterior cingulate cortex, attention, and the ventral striatum, reward. Prayer calms the amygdala, lowering fear. It's not just fantasy. Belief reduces cortisol, the stress hormone. It can strengthen the immune system. Faith, whether true or not, produces measurable effects. So, is God an illusion? Or is belief itself proof that humans are wired for something beyond?
And you admit my point. It soothes. Illusions are powerful precisely because they work. A child clutching a toy at night feels safe, but the toy has no power. Faith is the blanket that calms humanity's fears. Useful, yes, but not real.
And here's where you come in. Jury, is faith just a toy for frightened adults, or is it something more? Hold your verdict for now. Let's go deeper. Sigmund, you argued that God is a wish, born of fear, but morality. Billions say their moral compass is rooted in faith. Without God, why would anyone resist temptation or care for others?
I believe morality is not divine, it is psychological. From childhood, parents reward and punish. Their voice becomes the superego, the inner judge. Religion amplifies this process. God sees all, rewards good, punishes evil. But the root is not heaven. It is the human mind internalizing authority. A child obeys because father is watching. The adult believer obeys because God is watching. Same mechanism, different mask.
Yet psychology and neuroscience reveal morality runs deeper than authority. It's not only the superegos, it's biology. When we see injustice, the insula activates the brain region that processes disgust. We feel moral disgust the way we feel physical disgust at rotten food. When we help someone, oxytocin surges, strengthening trust. Acts of kindness trigger dopamine in the ventral tegmental area, creating real pleasure. Even toddlers, too young for theology, show fairness instincts. In experiments, they protest when toys aren't shared equally. That's not a priest teaching morality. That's an evolved sense of justice, perhaps. But instincts are not morality. Animals show fairness too. Monkeys refuse unequal rewards. Morality becomes human when it binds to meaning. Religion gave people rules, rituals, fear of hell.
Without those, many fall into chaos. The superego fails, and desire, the id, devours them. God may be an illusion, but he has been civilization's scaffolding.
And scaffolding can be replaced. Secular societies today, Scandinavia for example, show low crime, high trust, high happiness. They are not collapsing without God. They are thriving with shared human values. So, morality doesn't vanish when faith fades. It evolves. And science reveals how. Through mirror neurons, oxytocin, cultural learning, God may inspire morality, but he is not required for it. Okay, jury, let's step into the bigger picture. Imagine lying awake at night wondering, why am I here? Why do I suffer? Why will I die? Freud called religion a wish, but wishes themselves point to something real. Hunger proves food exists, thirst proves water exists. Does the wish for God prove anything?
No. Hunger proves food because food is real, but a child also wishes to fly like a bird. Desire does not prove truth. Humanity longs for immortality, for justice, for eternal love. Religion promises these, but I believe this. Promises are not proof. They are dreams of the anxious mind. God is wish fulfillment, the dream of the child who fears the dark.
And yet, wish fulfillment alone cannot explain everything. Studies show believers often live longer, healthier lives. Religious rituals lower blood pressure, reduce stress, even speed healing. The placebo effect itself is a testament. Belief changes biology. Evolution may have wired humans to believe not because it's false, but because it gave survival advantage. Groups united by shared gods cooperated better, punished cheaters, built civilizations. So, is God a projection, or is belief itself evidence that humans are tuned to transcendence?
Survival does not equal truth. Many false beliefs help survival. A soldier believes he's invincible and fights braver, but he is not invincible. Religion may aid survival, but that does not make its claims true.
Fair, but look at consciousness. Freud, you open the door to the unconscious. Today, neuroscience still cannot explain how firing neurons in the cortex become the feeling of grief or the joy of music. When a choir sings and you feel chills, yes, it's dopamine and endorphins. But why does chemistry feel like transcendence? Why does biology produce awe? We don't know, and maybe that's the point. Science explains the mechanisms, but the meaning is still unfolding. All right, jury, time to weigh in. Freud says, God is illusion, wish fulfillment, the magnified father of our unconscious. Science says, belief reshapes the brain, morality is embodied, and mysteries remain. Which voice do you find more convincing? Hold that thought. Let's hear their closings.
My closing is simple. God is a dream, the oldest, strongest, most comforting dream of humankind. But dreams are not reality. I believe maturity means facing the world without illusions, to abandon the Father in the sky and accept responsibility for our fragile, fleeting lives.
And mine is this. Maybe God is wish fulfillment, but wishes have power. They calm the amygdala, surge oxytocin, lower cortisol, unite societies. Illusion or not, belief changes brains, bodies, civilizations. And mystery still remains. Consciousness, the origins of meaning, the reason there is something rather than nothing, unsolved. Perhaps God is illusion, or perhaps he is hidden in the very structures Freud called illusions. Either way, the truth is not finished, and we're not finished either. Tonight we opened Freud's claim that religion is wish fulfillment, but tomorrow we'll go further. We'll bring in modern neuroscience, brain scans, hormone studies, the psychology of belief, and place them alongside Freud's ideas. We'll also revisit the early founders of psychology who helped separate science from the church. The question is, do today's discoveries confirm Freud's suspicion or reveal something he could never have imagined? So, jury, who wins tonight? Freud's sober realism or science's restless wonder? Share your reasoning in the comments and join us tomorrow as we test Freud against neuroscience and the history of psychology itself. Subscribe if you want to follow this journey, but most of all, let your voice complete tonight's debate, because this conversation is only just beginning.